Hello everyone, and welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon. We have another game from the Knights and Squires tournament here today, the first in the series of 3 between the BCA Mark.Karl and Combine team, who will be the Red 4 team today, and Mark.Karl and Direktor, who will be in blue. Now Direktor and Mark.Karl are the Knights, while Mark.Karl and Combine are the Squires, the newer players learning with their Knights. And I do have with me again NDMO, who has been, well, quite a pleasure to have on recently for commentary. I always enjoy having guests, and his insight is always valuable. So do you want to introduce yourself and sort of give us your thoughts as this opener begins to take shape?
Yeah, it's fun to be on. What we have here is a team being knighted, so to speak, led by a top 20 player, and a team being led by a top 50 player. Brigadier General being anywhere from around the top 50 of the player base, and then Lieutenant General being under the top 5, but being above the upper bracket of the top 30, so to speak. So this is kind of an interesting dynamic here, because obviously the privates are going to be at the whims of their advisors, if you so to speak, right? So it's going to be interesting to see whose strategy comes out on top, or who's just better at bashing their face into a brick wall.
So, you know, on the smashing your face into a brick wall sort of thing, I want to talk about this map a little bit because it is huge. But the zones, I think you were mentioning this earlier, the zones are actually pretty cramped. So we have all this space over here, and it's completely unutilized. And we have sort of two players forced into what is actually a 1v1 map on ranked ladder. So, what do you think that's going to have in terms of an effect on what makes a good strategy here, what makes a bad strategy, and where the players need to focus?
No, I think you summed it up perfectly. It's a 2v2 map on paper, but it's actually a 1v1 map. It's just the sheer size is daunting to a lot of new players, but the way it plays out and what you actually fight for, like, this is arguably a smaller map, or just as small as, say, Paddy Field or Hell in a Small Place. You have so much dead space that, you know, that kind of puts people off. I think ultimately the winning strategy in general, especially in a team game, is to work together to exert control on the highway, then spread out from there.
Look at that. There's actually a CV misplay from Grand, and you know, as we get into this, I think it's interesting to see that we have double M1A2 from Direktor, but only a single 3D Baz from Mark.Karl. I think Direktor might want to just bowl right through the middle, but Combine and Grand, it looks pretty clear they're more interested in going around, making use of that space. There's actually a Leclerc up here. There's a fast moto opener. It looks like Eurocore and Israel going against USA and what's probably DGC by the look of it, 2A1 and out.
Here comes silence. I think those 10 RCs are going to perish.
Yeah.
If we give it a pause real quick and we do like just a sky view, we can already tell. It's kind of funny. I kind of hit it on the nose here. What I described earlier, that's exactly what's happening right now as we speak. Grand and Combine, Red 4, are working together to exert control on the highway and push blue out, and we can see how just straight away on paper, Red 4 already has the advantage, even with Grand forgetting to unload his CV and Bravo. You can tell that Blue 4 is being squeezed right now. They have no presence in Echo, the far left side of the map, and they've been pushed out the right side, with Red 4, despite having one super heavy, being able to exert equal control on the highway. So already Blue 4 is in a bad spot. So it's going to be interesting to see either how Red 4 throws and gives it to Blue, or how Blue slowly gets dismantled and ultimately gets forced out of their own side of the highway into their spawn.
And you know, there are a couple of things that could lead to that. One of them is losing the Baz early, which just got pounded by double M1A2. Another
the M1A2 has the highest AP for a tank in the game with 24. All other super heavies have 23 or less.
And it's crazy. It's very good. But I'm more concerned right now, if I was Red, about dealing with the Nighthawk, dealing with, you know, the fact that this might actually be an overextension.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though, like, that... So what you're talking about for getting the advantage and squeezing them out, we just saw in action. If you cannot have a stable, steady, straight line front, then you cannot guarantee that your tank fight is going to be well managed. And so Red
that
wrapping
Patriot
around,
didn't get the kill. Oh my god.
It's a misser. This Patriot is a misser.
It's trained. No way, man. Okay, so here's the question. Is he going to put the second Patriot behind Red 4's spawn, or is he going to save up to just have two on the front at the same time?
There is actually... Oh, wow, look at this. V150, Rovite 90. The
Oh,
Rovite...
they're actively being microed as well, so
Yeah.
Director is paying attention here. This is deliberate. He's trying to clear the path for some cheese later in the match.
Man, Director is a
Okay, this is really...
terror. Holy cow.
It's interesting because if he can keep it safe, what some people like to do, and by some I mean like one person that I've encountered doing this, they take the trained Patriot on purpose so that they can put it behind the opponent's spawn. Seeing Director having a trained Patriot and now seeing Rangers on the flank being cheeky, I'm curious to see what he's going to try to develop there.
You know, honestly, I'd be more scared of people who do that with stacks of man pads. Especially, you know, like, I've had that...
God.
Ooh, what?
No, just, yeah, Scandi, Mech, Stingers. Oh, my word. Yeah, those are not anything to mess with.
I had that done to me one time by Commonwealth with SAS. They have launchers. They have primaries. They're elite training. It was so unpleasant. I bought a plane, it immediately died, and I was sitting there going, wait, what? It was very
I think
trippy.
your fears of an overextension in golf
are not materializing.
Yeah, that it's not an overextension, it's a solid grab.
Yeah,
so
100%. I mean, we're 5 minutes in.
At this point, it looks like Blue 4 is just going to try to consolidate in middle and hopefully maybe break out into Bravo and Echo.
Oh, look at that. Tomcat down. And those things, I firmly believe Tomcats work best in pairs.
Yeah,
so
Tom
losing
Cruise
one
is overrated.
is just
that was
like,
inevitable.
Yeah, and I think we can see... So I see a lot of Director on the front. I don't see a lot of Mark.Karl, but if we look red, I see a lot of Combine. He's not actively engaging so much, but we have, you know, Panzerground up here, we have Chasseurs here. I really want to see what Mark.Karl's doing. Okay, I guess that's not necessarily fair. These are his infantry, but shocks this far forward are gonna struggle against the fire support that Israel can bring to bear. So I wonder if that's smart. And then Combine definitely getting the upper hand on Golf. And, you know, this could be one of those matches where, like, the teams were intended to be relatively well balanced, and so, you know, Director being one of the best players in the entire game, Mark.Karl is a little bit newer than Combine. Combine has more experience in team games, and we could be
let's actually look at where the fighting is in the front. So who's actively fighting in Golf right now? It's Combine, right?
Yeah, this is Combine.
Up against Mark.Karl. So this is actually private on private fighting. If we look in middle, up until just now, it was between Director and Grand, and it was actually pretty balanced. The Bads had to pull out simply due to taking too much damage. But up until this point, middle was split pretty evenly along the middle. What we see here is Combine simply outclassing Mark.Karl in the forest grind.
That was the Leclerc. The M1A2's just clapped the Leclerc. Oh my. It's gone, right? Like that, and it wasn't a Nighthawk. That had to have been that explosion.
That's private tank micro for you.
Yeah. And Grant's pinging it too. He's like, I wonder if he had like a wait, where's my Leclerc moment, and Grant's just sitting there going, yeah, it's dead. That's really unfortunate. And you know, I'm almost doubting what you said just a minute ago, and that I just agreed with, which is this is a solid grab. We've got a 2A1. We've got.
Well, yeah. Now we're actually seeing what I think is a solid counterattack on Karl's part. The only thing is just that he's lacking AA, but the numbers are there.
That Patriot really just sucks.
Yeah, he has. This is like, okay, so like 1v1, 2v2, 3v3. You don't do this, man. Like a single Gepard here would be so helpful.
Yeah.
Because like just.
I'm sorry, you cut out.
But damage net should.
You cut out halfway through that.
Bring AA when you push, guys.
Yeah.
Bring AA when you push. That Cassiope is going to do more damage than it has a right to.
And I do like this. M163's Flak Panzer is just forming a shield around Hotel. But yeah, NDMO is exactly right. That Cassiope will slaughter infantry, it'll slaughter IFVs, even this thing can kill tanks. I've killed tanks with this thing before. You just go, and then it shoots at side and rear armor because it'll fly faster than the tank can turn. It's a little bit stupid. I'm not sure if it's intended, but that is how it is. And now I wonder if we're going to see... So, still one Baz here from Grand. We haven't seen a second one come out yet. And if Director can bully that single super with his double M1A2, they can get...
At this range, this is going to be very dangerous.
I'm actually kind of surprised this game goes as long as it does. Like, I don't know. We've had moments where I thought, okay, Red is clearly taking this. You thought Red definitely had an advantage. I would say that's gone.
Died in Golf. He had a 2-stack, and now they're gone. The Legion and the Chasseurs are both on 1 HP, but that's an attack front that they've managed to hold off, and that's not good for Mark.Karl at all.
Yeah, definitely. This is risky, though.
Hey, where'd the Baz go? I think the Baz has vanished, Black Knight. It looks like the M1A2s have vanquished it, and we see that the M1A2 retreating on what I presume is anywhere from 3 to even 1 HP. If we go to Direktor's point of view over here.
Oh, yeah.
2 HP. So that's a bad trade on, well, not even a trade, that's just a bad loss on Grand's part right there.
I mean, Israel can take 2 true super heavies, then they have to rely on those 3 Bs, and at 155 points, they're just not in the same weight class as the M1A2. It just, you cannot really compete with that 1-to-1.
They have 21 front armor, but they only have 20 AP. That
they can't even pen like 2 range steps.
Not at max.
Ooh. Okay, so I like the Mar290, but like, this is one of those things. I'm not the best with Israel in 1v1. I've recently been learning a little bit of it, courtesy of NBK, which has been a wild experience. But in 2v2, I almost think even Unspec wants to take both the Mar290 and the LAR 160 because they're so oppressive, and they definitely could be punishing this position from blue right now with that. I mean, it's
in
really,
team
really
games,
good.
even when using Unspec decks, without a doubt, there is just the simple fact that because you have a teammate, that allows you to specialize more in certain respects. So you can take a unique type of infantry, you can take more artillery, because in a 1v1 you have to be as balanced as possible. Whereas in a team game, it's like, okay, you play your deck this way, and I'll make my deck specifically to work with yours. So in a team game, there's no reason not to take both the Mar290 and the LAR 160.
This is why a lot of people as well will take fewer command vehicles in team games, because you don't need all 7 necessarily. Like on this map,
your teammate will have a couple extra.
Right. Like on this map in particular, 1v1 7, I do believe is a hard minimum to feel comfortable here. If you're going to lose 1 or 2 of them, you just need at least 7. But here, I mean, you have 4 or 5 per person, and there you go. You're off to the races. And I do want to ask you, because we haven't talked about it much yet in this game, what do you think about Echo? What do you think about the impact that this side of the battlefield, right now a lot lower density, may or may not have on this fight as it continues?
Yeah, it's kind of funny seeing that. Like, I think ultimately, and this is kind of what I've noticed as well, what you'll usually see is from Bravo's spawn, in my experience, Echo is kind of like, okay, you take the town for free, and then you fight in the middle of the rest of the map, and depending on how well the fighting is over there, either, in this case, Red 4 either sees how well they're doing on the rest of the map, they're not pressured to fight in Echo, and as a result, Blue 4 can't really waste time sending units over there to die. So, and we're seeing that demonstrated perfectly right here. Red 4 has the map advantage. Blue 4 doesn't want to waste time sending units to die in Echo when they need to fight in Delta to prevent their spawn from collapsing.
Yeah. Oh, what was that? What was... Oh, okay. That was just... I mean, I think it was a recon thing. What's interesting to me... So, this game goes, I think, nearly to time. Right now, Grand's team does have the ticket advantage, but it's very slim, 87-28, and it feels to me right now that Blue is trading a lot better. Is that a feeling you share as well, or am I blowing smoke here?
I'm not sure yet.
It's harder to tell.
There's definitely a few hundred points for sure in disparity between trades, but at the same time, Blue is still kind of stuck. Even though they traded really well in the super heavy brawl and even got some cool tank picks, Mark.Karl and Direktor together are not able to exert pressure on Red 4, even though Red 4 has taken some pretty hefty casualties.
Yeah, and a lot of this I think will also come down to just the experience that each player has working with their teammate. Like, this is not like most 2v2 tournaments where people came in and said, okay, here's my teammate, this is my team, this is what I want to be playing against other people with. These people were signed up individually and paired up after the fact. So what you're seeing is it's an alliance of necessity, not necessarily convenience. And so you're going to have potentially some clash there in how people like to play and how people like to work together.
A Patriot missed 2 shots on that Baz that was flying around.
I'm not even sure he's landed 1 shot. It might have landed maybe 1, but...
That thing's on full HP still, and it's been fired at twice, I'm sure, by the Patriot.
Yeah, that's just goofy. And we see the map control that you're talking about here from Red, especially over in Echo. Getting the early cap here with the Leopard 2 could be very nice. It will be costly for Blue to get into Echo, and I do beg your pardon for just a second. My cat is currently biting my hand, and I'm not really a big fan. So, give me just a moment. Ow, hey, stop. Okay. with the cap.
I'm curious if Blue 4 will be able to break into Bravo, because it seems to me they're neglecting Echo out of necessity for when they can't waste points there, but also strategically they may be beginning to realize that, okay, we managed to clear out Bravo, the super heavy. Strategically it might just make more sense to maybe cut off their spawn instead of trying to go for the flanks. If your arms are if you're fighting for the arms, it might just be better to go past them and just go straight for the heart. I'm curious to see how that'll turn out as the battle develops.
I'd like to see that. I really would. I mean, double Magok Gimel, these guys, unless they're side-shotting the M1A2s, don't stand a chance. And if Blue can get not even that much farther forward, they can get into this town section here.
That would allow them to take over Echo a lot, just easier, with less struggle, because they're cutting off a key reinforcement route.
Once Red loses this section, like from this town to this forest, it's over in terms of holding on to Bravo, because even if you can temporarily, I've seen people trade so horribly because you're being engaged from multiple sides. At that point, you have really lost a lot of map control, and Red is right on the edge of being in that catastrophe, even though they have such a strong position still in Golf. And this is more contested. There's double Stutes, there's double Panzergren, admittedly a little bit damaged. Cassiope, bring AA, ladies and gentlemen. If you think you have enough, it's kind of like Recon, you might not, and if you don't, it's gonna cost you. So we're seeing that right there, and I don't know, like,
Combine's doing a pretty good job of keeping the left flank. It's no longer completely in their control, but it's definitely you can't put a CV safely in here.
Yeah, I mean this
it just wouldn't work.
This is probably a really big risk. If this thing shoots,
all they need is to like get an idea of where it is, and it just takes 2 Kernas firing positions. Not even right clicks, just fire pauses. That's a Leopard 1, dude.
Yeah.
It likes that. Yeah, that. Come on, man. Ugh.
I'm a firm believer. If you're gonna take this, if you're gonna take a tank CV in Eurocore, 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, 4v4, I don't care. Take the Leopard 2.
I like 2 top armor, but it's not going to survive any direct hits from anything big. Simple as that.
Yep. Yeah, if you have the tool available, just take the better tool. And
especially in a team game when you can specialize more.
Yeah, and you're not even saving that many points really on the scale of this. It's like 2 players income, so 210 points per minute for your team, and you're really going to take the worst command tank for, what, 25 points less? I just don't see the economy. Now, that doesn't mean it's necessarily a strictly wrong choice. If it's something that Direktor suggested, then it probably has more for it than I'm giving it credit for. But I need convincing on that. My sneaking suspicion is that that's something that Mark.Karl does, that Direktor probably might not have thought of to check.
I'm curious to see how much the Tomcat being in the air influences Blue 4's airplay, because the Tomcat has the best air detection in the game. So you can, with a Tomcat in the sky, you can immediately see what plane your opponent has and even tell what name it is. So I'm because they already lost the Tomcat, so I'm wondering if calling out the second one is kind of like that's influencing how they, or in this case, they don't really use planes, because we haven't seen many strike aircraft on Blue 4's part apart from the Nighthawk.
Yeah, which hasn't even come out. I think it's probably ready to go again. I would imagine it probably could have come in for a couple of strikes by now, more than what we've seen.
Red 4's center artery is looking precarious right now. Yeah. This is their control of the highway. So originally, Red 4 had a huge grip on the highway, but despite the fact that Blue 4 was definitely being pushed out and even took some losses in the beginning, it seems to me this is your classic conquest. They call this a fire starter moment. And what this is when you prioritize the tick over map control, either intentionally or unintentionally. It's looking like Red 4 had a really good opener and got a good tick going, but they couldn't keep the flower blooming.
So you say that, but I mean, look at this Leopard 2A1 here. Mark.Karl has been feeding infantry for quite a while in this section. I mean, what happened to the double Stutes? What happened to the double Panzergren? We saw those guys die, and if they can't keep that Leopard 1 alive, like, Red will get back that presence that they're missing. They'll get back that trading that they're missing if Blue can't keep this alive, and at that point it's no longer that trade-off without much benefit.
I don't think Blue's gonna have too much trouble. Let's pause it for just a moment.
Okay.
You'll just see that you just see Combine fed a 2A1, and now Mark.Karl, Combine fed a 2A1, and Grand is feeding his infantry. This CV buy may have actually just, I'm gonna hedge my bet, and I'm gonna say, just from looking at the map right now, that Blue's gonna win the game. I think that what's going to happen here is that they're going to contest Golf, maybe even reoccupy it completely, and we're going to see either an occupation of Bravo or at the very least total control of Golf, Echo, and Delta. on Blue 4's behalf. That's what I think could happen.
You know, I'd like to disagree with you just so that we get the sort of conflict going there, the who's going to win their bet, but yeah, I'm convinced. I mean, if both these Magocks die here in just a second as well,
that's practically game. It's just up to Blue 4 at that point to take advantage of the opportunity that they've given themselves in opening up the front by removing those 2 mediums.
Yeah, and that can definitely be done. I feel like the push down here we saw from Blue was a bit of a mistake. If I were doing this, and I mean, again, far be it for me to second guess the Lieutenant General, but that's 1v1, this is team. I used to play a fair amount of team on this map. I think pushing this would have been a little bit better of a choice. Like, this strategy can work great in 1v1. You leverage this section, you leverage here after it, and that's how you get into Bravo. But in 2v2, you can just bring so many more weight of numbers to take this section of town, and then you leverage it just the other direction. And that could be just a ranked versus playing a lot of 2v2 sort of experience difference, or I could be completely wrong there, but I really truly think these towns are very hard to hold in
They're
team
important,
games.
Black Knight, but here, let's pause it for a sec. Let's keep something in mind, right? And here's where I'm going to say that I don't think I agree with you there. It doesn't matter if it's 1v1 or 2v2. The same overall strategies apply. It's just a matter of how your team coordinates to get them done. Let's remember that Blue 4 is trying their best to defend, what is that, Golf? They're trying to defend Golf right now. It's a lot easier to do it when you control the highway and you don't have to worry about your reinforcements getting side shot. So their highway probe, that was a push. It ultimately didn't succeed in that they didn't take Triangle Force, but they did force Red to take a lot of casualties, and they snaked control of the highway in their favor with the placement of the Chaparral and the Milan. The highway is, without a doubt, in Blue 4's control, and with that, gives them an easier time defending Golf. So it's not a bad play, but it's not the only play. I think you're right there. They could have easily focused on the left side, but I think strategically they were focused on defending Golf, and it's easier to defend Golf when you could safely reinforce it.
Yeah, and that's a fair point too. I almost wish, like, this is a lot of good pressure. I mean, Kratal, Gepard A2, you throw the Stutes and the YPRs out, the YPRs will kill the Gepard A2.
Oh, no, that's a Leopard 2. Oh, that's going to backfire on Red Force so badly. I can already tell.
It might not. Keep in mind, these are privates going after each other here. If Mark.Karl doesn't feel confident to push, and Direktor is dealing with Grand, who's no slouch at all, then that, this thing could sit here for free for quite a while before it ever comes under threat. Especially, we've seen a really defensive posture from Mark.Karl over here. He's getting shelled. Yeah, it could backfire on Red. It could also get them enough tick to become unrecoverable for Blue, because, like, this is a lot. Up 150, we're getting into the later part of the game. 20 minutes left.
Red's still applying pressure tick-wise, so they're playing the long game technically.
Yeah.
We'll see if it'll become a fire starter moment. But anything can happen in 20 minutes. That's what I always say. So
yeah.
we'll see. This is definitely a nail biter.
Yeah, I mean,
is that a LAR 160 firing right now? Yes, it is. If I'm not mistaken. Ah, yes, beautiful clusters. Let's see how they're doing against the armor there.
It needs to be
one's taking some hits. Will they actually damage it though?
Oh,
was that a Nimrod?
No,
just a Dorban.
Yeah. Great ATGM.
So it looks like the LAR 160 was ultimately ineffective. It didn't. Oh wow, an optical failure. Oh my god. The LAR 160 was ultimately not effective at all. The dispersion was too wide, and it didn't get any meaningful kills or even chip damage.
This is dead. I don't see what killed it. We might have just missed that. I apologize, guys, but if Blue can
those are cluster marks on the floor there, right? You know what? I think Atacams. Let's go to spawn. There we go, baby.
Yeah. Look at that. Yep. Nothing you can really do.
For those who aren't aware, the Atacams is just a vehicle that has 20 AP missiles on it, so it one-shots every vehicle in the game except boats.
Because it'll hit top armor.
It'll hit top armor, so no tank is safe. Nothing. It doesn't matter what you're using. If an Atacams explodes on top of it and it is not infantry, it will die.
Look at this. So Direktor is saying to Mark.Karl with this attack marker, squeeze this section of forest, and I agree entirely. Like, there's an FL-12 over here. You would have seen it drive in. This is where the command vehicle has to be for Red, and Blue should know this.
This is very sloppy on Combine's part. The Crotal and Gepard being in front of the tank CV, being the only things there protecting it, is not ideal at all. At the very least, he should pull back the AA and move up the Legion 90 that he has there instead.
Well, and I want to see where his points are, because I I think he's actually taken a fair amount of losses here. So we see the Tiger had.
Wow.
CV,
Okay, so
CV.
Red 4 is largely being played with here by Combine. Grand is actually the one with a lesser presence, primarily because he's trying his hardest to control middle.
You know, I almost wonder if Direktor. So if we switch now to the other side, sorry, that was a little bit hard on the eyes there. I almost wonder if Direktor's been a little bit overcautious with his M1A2s since. Oh no, oh no 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 no, oh that's so bad. I almost wonder if he's been a little overcautious with them because, you know,
against Israel, no, you can never be too careful.
Yeah.
R160s, Kernas, you need those things at full HP.
Smoke this, smoke this, smoke this, please. Okay, nope, dead.
Not coming. That's really big, actually. Okay, so the Red 4 is losing, but if they can keep their tick for the next 15 minutes, it doesn't matter how many casualties they're taking if they manage to prevent Blue 4 from controlling the map. This is a really interesting development, right? That CV loss was big. That was a +1 with 15 minutes left in the game.
That's a win or a loss right there. Also,
yeah, that could have changed the dynamic right there.
Combine is going to attack here and then also defend there. Just so we are aware.
Direktor doesn't have his M1A2s in play. They are taking Echo largely. I don't think. Okay, that CV loss may not be the end of the world if they buy another one within the next 2 minutes.
That's definitely big. And actually, looking at Delta, I feel like Blue had a farther forward presence here a little bit ago than they do now. And there goes an M1A2.
That's such a huge loss.
Leclerc coming out here from Combine as well. So the two M1A2s together wouldn't have to care about that Leclerc.
The Chaparral isn't in an ideal firing position because of the forest cover. So the Legion 90 gets the M1A2 pick. That's not... One M1A2 is better than 0, but now Red 4 and Blue 4 are the same in super heavy disposition.
And actually, the double Magog Gimmels, these guys are equal weight class with the 2A1NL. This could get ugly. For the first time in the game, Red has the tank advantage. And snap of a finger, that's all it took. So, you know, you said you can't be overcautious.
Blue 4's attack presence or capability has completely shifted to the death of that M1A2. Because now Israel has one super heavy, has one more Baz. Eurocore still has one Leclerc. Now Direktor only has one M1A2. This changes things.
Yeah, and I gotta say, it feels like Blue's getting really unlucky with their AA. Like, even downvet Patriots, it's base, what, 70%?
And it's upvetted now, it's not hardened. But yeah, in my opinion, the Patriots is better at veteran. This is crazy. This is... Okay, so Blue 4's getting a CV in Echo now? I figured they would. Yeah,
okay,
it's been about 2 minutes.
I mean, they need to cancel the tick, too. This is getting up to the point where Red has about 12 minutes worth of tick. Well, about 11 minutes worth of tick, and... Yeah, you gotta clear it by enough to win as well. Like, draws are a thing.
Blue 4 no longer has the means to push in Delta now. They have to play on the defensive simply because of that M1A2 loss. These 4 riflemen, this is a feed without a doubt. Direktor, this is...
I think that was panic. I think what we're seeing
he was just hoping that he could just fast move into the forest, not realizing that he was already coming under fire.
Can we please stop trading golf advantage here? We'd be like,
Despite the fact that they've teched in Echo now, they have a CV in Echo, Red 4, for whatever reason, is able to hang on to their control in Golf, and they had to pull back the command Abrams because of damage from shelling it was taking. So they'll probably re-enter middle once it's fully healed. But I'm curious if Red 4 is actually going to collapse here, or if they're going to win on the tick, despite taking so many casualties.
They very well could. They really very well could. I mean, especially... So, I like the HA pick from Direktor, and the Leclerc could come under... Neither player, both these players, when they're pushing, they don't have enough in front of their tanks, and I think
if Blue 4 could just Nighthawk the right flank, that would probably work out really well in their favor, honestly.
Did the Nighthawk die and we just missed it, or did
nope? There she comes.
Oh yep. It's gonna go for the AMXs.
No, they don't have seed.
That has to be on the AMXs. Yep.
Kind of a wasted sortie in my... whatever. It's cool. It's gone.
I mean, you can leverage that. Like, yep, 2 Verkennings, the 2A1. Just send it. Send it. Because
Red 4's air power has definitely been oppressive, which is not ideal. Their Patriot hasn't been able to do much to dissuade them from just flying wherever they want.
I would have expected more kills.
That's a yucky Mar-290 strike.
Yeah.
Double Patriot now as well.
And
so they've committed. To the
he's
Patriot.
spreading it out. This is actually really good management from Grand here. He and Combine working together. They're stuttering their
The
MLRS.
LRM and the Mar-290, so 2 HE-centric MLRSs doing their best to stun, enemy units.
No, missed opportunity.
That M1A2's at veteran now. That's how much it's killed over the course of the match.
That's pretty goofy. Okay, so this is dangerous for red. If the Verkenning, like, all they need to do, yeah, 2A1 comes out, engage.
This might be the turning point for red 4.
You were the one who said to me, use what you buy, right?
Yeah.
They need to use what they're buying. Sorry, go on.
Well, no. That's definitely a fair thing to bring up, and let's remember that this is private on private gaming right now.
Nice
so
pick.
there's definitely a what's the proper word for it? Unpredictability in maneuvering.
Yeah.
But it seems that they're taking your advice and they're beginning to move forward.
Yeah, but I mean, this position, if you don't control it, people put infantry here all the time. It's a basic expectation. And that's big.
Why is that thing on 1 HP? That's gonna die. That is a dead 2-1.
It was already damaged by indirects. Barak coming in.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Oh.
There we go.
There we go.
That's more of what Blue 4 wants to see, and nope, lost vision on it at the last second. Thunderbolt can't get the kill.
Wow.
I think this is red. I think we both missed our mark here. I think red is going to be able to take this just by sheer early advantage. I mean, blue has closed the gap.
Red 4 lost the CV and Echo, but they've managed to put it back in. Okay, so blue 4. So what we're seeing here is, in my opinion, without a doubt, blue 4 has. I'm going to say, I think blue 4 at the end of this game is going to have the kill advantage here. But red has just done. Oh, that's a dead CV. That's totally dead. Yeah.
Okay, that's a big swing because
that's big.
Blue taking
okay, that
+1.
changes things.
God, this is the definition of back and forth. I swear, like.
Yeah,
this is wonderful.
They're tossing. They've been tossing the game. Red 4 loses a CV and a Leclerc, and then later on, Direktor feeds his M1A2. The Patriots don't kill anything. Blue 4 feeds all their stuff in the middle, and then Red 4 loses control of what appears to be the right flank, but
where'd the Leclerc
Blue 4 doesn't have the confidence to take it yet. So it's just like, wow, I can't tell what's happening.
Did the M1A2 and Leclerc just feed into each other when we weren't watching? I don't see the M1A2.
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. The HAs are the primary tanks in the fight now.
That was a nice Kurnos kill.
Yeah, that just got
okay.
tapped. They sent it out without the Kurnos 2000.
Yeah, I mean the Patriots are getting return. Without the Leclerc, and without like, this is just. I think it's gratifying because.
A +1 for 10 minutes is a win for blue.
Yeah, it is. It really is, and that'll make up for not being able to clear this out. It's just so unfortunate that they haven't been able to. So all you need here, like, if somebody does this to you, okay, here's how I would handle it. I'm curious how you would handle it. What I would do is I would sweep this section with shocks, and then I'd smoke this right here, and send them.
I wouldn't even bother with that. I would just get some recon up to that force you were just at, and then just push with a bunch of line infantry on the main road with tank support, because that would be faster.
Yeah, it would be faster. It would require more of a points investment potentially.
Right.
Right. It probably comes down to what deck you're taking. Like,
what deck you're taking, and if you know there's something there, I think a smoke cloud with some shocks moving through it is just a cheap, dirty way to do it. But that depends on what you think your opponent has. And
it's
what
less
you
of a guarantee.
What you're willing to risk.
Your method will work more often than mine, for sure.
But if time is of the essence and you just need movement now, you probably sending the infantry forward.
And presence other places too. Like if you're gonna put a 2A1 over here and some other sort of stuff there, like nothing you buy in this game is free of consequence, because wherever you're building strength, you're not building strength somewhere else. But with that, like your method here, if you're clearing this out,
missile. He must be going for the 2A1 on the left flank.
Let's see. Oh, I missed
it. Left flank.
Left.
And he kills 2 AMX-13s. Nope. No, he kills nothing. Miss. That was a miss.
Swing and a miss. Oh well. The thing reloads what every 10 minutes, so it's not 10 though. It's big. I know it's big. Raven
going for the Gepper, but it's moving with its gun off.
Good. That is nice. Like once you know the Raven's there, like the first one, I'll admit, the first Raven, there's not a ton you can do. Once you know it's there, you have to micro. And a little bit lucky that the first missile didn't land, but good recognition. So it's nice to see that. even if it wasn't
Red
right
4,
away.
Red 4 currently, Black Knight, is within victory margins. If Red 4 could stop the tick right now, it would still be in their favor. But
how are they
going to
do it? I mean,
I don't see that happening. I think there's no way Blue 4 would lose all these units in a way that would allow Red 4 to come back. I think, I'm going to call it right here, I think at this point, Blue 4 wins the game with that insidious slow bleed +1.
Could too.
And with what's happening in golf, this might become a +2.
And if it becomes a +2, then yeah, I'm all with you.
100%.
So, yeah, once you know the Commando Marine are here, this needs to be answered with infantry. And the infantry are there. There's a 2A1 here. Some of this comes down to coordination. So, earlier tonight, I was backseating Feel Good Lost a little bit, my rookie in this tournament. And actually, even more than just that, Balanced was as well. Amazing player, much better than me.
Oh my god.
And
F3 killed a Gepard.
yeah, it did. But
Longbow's on 1 HP, 2 HP.
Coordination, using your tools together at the right time is huge, and it's basically the only thing Balance talked about really for my Squire earlier on in the game, and that coordination is what's been missing here over on the right, I think, from both sides. I think both the privates have kind of sent things in piecemeal, and that's why you see like the big breakthrough followed by the big crackback as each one progressively sends forward the counter to whatever made it through the previous time.
But no one's willing to go the extra step, because right now if Blue 4 just like pushed with everything they had on right, it would easily be theirs. But
yeah,
Combine is not willing to commit. Combine's not willing to commit.
Yeah, and to a certain extent, Mark.Karl's not willing to commit either, and he's probably nervous, which is understandable.
Well, Mark.Karl has nothing here. He has a 2A1 and a Commando Marine squad.
2 double stacks of Panzergren.
Oh, Mark.Karl's Blue 4, my mistake.
Oh, yeah,
Combine. Yeah, Combine's on the back end here. He's gonna sit there. That's his best move for sure.
Yeah. Don't be afraid when you have this sort of late game situation. When you have this build up, use it. Use it. And you know, if you are nervous, so I occasionally under-preserve my 5-point boxes, but if you're really that nervous and you can't figure out a way to get recon, split one of them off, send it forward, see what shoots. It's 5 points. It's better to keep it alive, but it's, you know, better to lose the 5 points than a double stack of Panzergren 90. And who's smoking?
Here comes smoke.
Direktor.
They're getting ready for a maneuver.
Look at that.
This is it. If we zoom out for a second and just take a moment, we can keep it flying, but just take a moment to appreciate the unit density. Look at just how much stuff that Blue 4 has alive versus Red 4. And like that's just like telling just right there that it's tick-wise, we can see, and unit-wise, with just what they've killed and what they have in the field, Blue 4 is obviously in the advantageous position here.
Yeah, 100%. And this is very, very risky. It's just not Threat that are pushing it. It's not the biggest issue right now. But if Blue figures out where that group is, I wouldn't imagine it's alive for too long. And yep.
This
Look
is
at that.
it. 2A1's gone.
Don't lead with the boxes if you can avoid it now, because there's no reason to. The Panzergren will smack anything that gets close.
Red 4's hanging on by a thread. They're still leading the Black Knight. That's 3 minutes left.
They're taking
they're actually winning.
How are
Red
they
4's winning. Red 4's still winning.
So they have countercap Delta, countercap Echo.
Wow, hang on.
So
Blue 4 overextended an Echo, and they've failed to take Delta.
Yeah. And
Black Knight, and they're taking +1 despite the fact that they lost left.
Yep. Yeah.
I called it in the in-game clock, because we've been pausing and manipulating the time. I said it was in Blue 4's favor, but
oh no.
If
that's
they just killed. Oh, okay, so earlier Red 4 Carnassed it. They Carnassed it. It brought it down to 1 HP. The Mar 290 must have done 1 damage of splash and killed it.
Heal your CVs, guys. Heal them. Heal them up. If it takes that much punishment, I mean, there's a men got one right there.
Blue 4 might have whiffed with 4 minutes left on the clock with a +1 that's not going away.
Oh my.
The Atacams isn't firing yet. I think it's aiming right now. If we go to the spawn on Blue 4's end.
Yeah, it is. We can
is it reloading or is it aiming?
That is a reload.
Oh, it's reload. That's not gonna fire for another 2 minutes, minute and a half.
It's too late. It really is. And this got out.
Really bad for Blue.
The CV got out. I don't see a way back from this. They're even. Red's been smoking the Merkava 1 Pakud. This needs to work, and there's not enough backbone behind it.
Red 4 had nothing here 5 minutes ago. These are all new reinforcements that just stopped this Blue 4 offensive in time because Blue 4 bungled it and didn't play it properly. So Direktor is getting clobbered. If we go back to the right, these are actually a mix of Grand and Combine's units.
Combine, Grand, with the
Grand
Rovite as
CV
well.
and some of the supporting
Grand
infantry with Combine shocks.
Yeah.
But if we pay attention and oh, wow, I don't believe so. Blue 4 is desperate on the left flank, so they push up everything. They lost everything. 2A1 died, and the Panzerguns are getting cut up.
You know,
this is it.
I really look forward to seeing the rest of this series because I think what we saw here today is we saw higher individual performance, not maybe by a mile, but a little bit.
Double miss
from Direktor, and even a little bit from Mark.Karl, but we saw way better coordination from Red, and I think that's it's serving them well right now. I mean, with 2 minutes left, Blue's not getting back in unless they're taking +2, +3 even is what's necessary, and they might tie if they get enough of a +1 for long enough, but it's gonna be close.
God, it would have to be a +2 at this point, I think.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't. Yeah, I don't know.
They need to kill this right now.
I said it was Blue 4, but I don't know anymore. I don't.
I will make you into a team game player eventually, just because the sheer madness of this is just, it's fun. It's just fun.
I think Red 4 clinched it. I think, well, no, they clutched it. I think with a minute and a half left, they're gonna get away with it. They just Sam Hyded this game. They're going to, despite losing a ton of units and the map being in Blue's favor technically. Look at that CV. Like, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's alive by a hair,
well,
but it's
now middle's completely empty. They're probably going to kill that CV because they're so desperate. They're just going to start right-clicking everything to move forward. They have to. So they're probably going to kill this CV. So that could get them a +2. But at this point in the game, with how well Red 4's been holding the line, I don't know
30
anymore.
points gets them to a tie.
They lost. Okay, they lost Echo. They're not getting a CV back in there. That's done. So it's literally just a matter of whether or not they're going to be able to hold on to their tick lead for the next 60 seconds.
It all comes down to how long this stays alive.
Direktor's pushing up with a rifleman. This might...
Merkava 2A, that'll answer the Panzergren. Oh,
he has a pair of Zeldas coming in.
We need to see
is going to make things complicated.
If there's ever a time for a Kernos being alive, it's now. And I think we saw one die. Did we see both? I think we might have seen both die. Oh, look at the smoke. That's
this is
beautiful.
all dead. That's a dead CV. This is going to be
it's not gonna be dead
for the
in
next
time.
30 seconds.
It's not gonna be dead in time. The
Direktor stopped moving its infantry. Okay, now they're moving forward again. Let's zoom out a little. 20. The Mar 290. It's coming.
Oh, the stuns. The stuns.
Oh, clusters on the right flank, but it's an infantry CV, so it won't matter. Oh my God, Red 4 is gonna get it. This is a Red 4 win.
Yep.
10 seconds
by a
left
couple
with
of points of tick. They need to be within 20 points for it to be a tie. 21 actually.
Here we go. 5 seconds. This is it. So Red 4 clinched. Despite controlling most of the map, Blue 4 lost the game.
That was a win for Red by 2 points. 2 conquest points.
Red 4 gets the clutch.
That was just amazing. And look at Direktor. 5290, 2915. But
so let's look. So okay, so what did we predict what did we predict together before earlier, right? That Blue 4 would ultimately lead in kills, and I was right. What we see here is that they're leading by what is that? That's about 1100 point lead.
1500.
Yeah, 1100 point lead on Blue 4's part. And so this is why, just because you're playing Conquest, you know, kills don't always matter. If you can't materialize those losses into map gain, it won't matter. So Grand Israel on Red 4's side, he lost the middle fight in many moments. His super heavies got blasted, he lost his mediums, but he still managed to keep Direktor out of his CV's reach. And because of that, they were able to hang on for a full 40 minutes and win by 2 points.
I think that sums it up beautifully. And you know what? We have 2 more games in this SO3. We're going to be putting them up as soon as we can. Thank you for hanging around. Hang
on, Black. Let's not downplay the movements on the privates here as well. Both Combine and Mark.Karl, you know, Squires as they are, definitely showed initiative in some of their maneuvering, and it was actually Mark.Karl's and Direktor's combined assault that ultimately got them Echo and to the edge of middle despite losing the game. So this was definitely without a doubt a good game that showed both teams working together very well, even if they both made mistakes throughout the course of the match.
I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction about the next couple of games. I think that Grand's team is going to have to figure out a way to play around Direktor a little bit. And I think that the future games will in part come down to how well Combine and Mark.Karl do against each other, because I can very easily see this same sort of situation where Grand has to just fight for air against Direktor, and if Combine can take out Mark.Karl, then that's enough to get them the win, and if not, I mean, Direktor is an amazing player, and I could easily see him getting this sort of advantage on kills, at least, again. So, I'm looking forward to it. I think in terms of time, this might be all we record for tonight, but I'm hoping I can get you back here real soon. How does that sound?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, these are nutty games.
All right. Well, that'll wrap us up. If you do like this sort of thing, please don't hesitate to leave a like, share, subscribe, and all that YouTuber nonsense that I occasionally ask for, even though, let's be honest here, YouTube metrics have been just screwing with me over the last 6 months or so. It's all appreciated if you guys feel like doing that, and we'll be back with another game before you know it.